Hi guys, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Natasha.
And we were wondering,
Are you free for coffee?
welcome, welcome. Are you guys watching Imperfect Women? I hope you are. When you see this, the last one will have aired. Dropped.
Yes.
We have not seen it yet. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to give our predictions.
Yes.
It's a murder mystery.
It is.
Really.
On Apple TV.
On Apple TV. Yes. It's not really a thriller in that you were worked up like that.
Okay, that's kind of true.
But it's suspenseful.
Ooh, but it is suspenseful. Kind of suspenseful. Yes.
And it keeps you guessing of who done it. So it's 3 college friends.
Yes.
Elizabeth Moss, Kerry Washington, and what is it? What's her name?
You should have just said Nancy
and
Mary.
It's Nancy
and Eleanor.
Kate Mara. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And you know her. She plays in lots of things.
So many things. Yeah.
So one of them is killed. Of course, they suspect the husband first, which
immediately.
That's what we all do.
And we kind of did.
Kind of,
we were like,
fit the bill,
Robert.
But so it really keeps you guessing back and forth. It takes you through each of the women's journey. Is kind of, as young women, what made them who they are today.
What brought them to this point.
Yes. So that's really interesting. Their friendship is really, it's kind of a codependent. Some of it's toxic. Some of it's just
and it's kind of like a post-mortem challenge. Because it's like their friendship is now being challenged through trying to solve this murder
and why,
and you're finding out like, wait, I didn't know this, but you knew this. Well, I didn't know this, but you knew
There's
that.
Lots of secrets. Everybody has secrets.
Well, everyone has a major secret. I feel like.
Everybody has secrets.
Yes. Which at every corner kind of makes you believe it's them.
Yeah,
that is the suspenseful part.
Who are the
the main
suspects? I think are Nancy. Nancy is the one who's killed. You find that like in the first
episode. That's not a spoiler.
No secret.
Yeah.
So Nancy's husband Robert is a suspect.
Yes. We kind of suspected Robert's family because there's some financial abuse. It's a strange dynamic.
And they're really
controlling. To Robert.
To Robert and Nancy.
And to Nancy. They are.
It's just.
So you kind of go from suspecting them. And then Eleanor, who's played by Kerry Washington, she's the BFF. And we find out she's had the hots for Robert.
Oh, she's loved Robert before Nancy. She introduced them.
Yes.
But her brother threatened Robert, like, don't do that. Make a move on my sister. They were friends.
Yes.
So we're, this is what we find in backflashes,
Yes.
So, don't mess with my sister. So, bro code. He leaves. No, I'm not going to mess with your sister.
Nancy has a painting commissioned. So we're kind of looking for someone named David, possibly David. Or David or something.
The artist's name is David. So they kind
That's
of
what it
go
is.
to him.
They assume it's him. And the police have detained this man and everything. And we find out it's not him.
We kind of suspect. So Eleanor could be a suspect, actually.
Yes.
The husband Robert could be a suspect.
Yes.
We're kind of suspecting Mary's son.
Mary's son.
Second, but there's some things that kind of rule him out.
Yeah.
Him and Eleanor, but they have an alibi. Know. It could still.
Well, that's true.
Mary's husband is a big suspect. Mary's
Howard, you raggedy son of a bitch.
Oh my gosh, y'all.
Howard has taken
he's narcissist goals. If that's what you want to be,
there's a reason I got divorced.
Howard,
so here's what's funny, guys. I'm telling Lisa, we do this. We've talked about this. If you do any of our what we're watching, you know this. So I'm like, I think so-and-so is sleeping with Howard. And Lisa's like, no, I just can't see that. I said, I'm telling you, they're sleeping together.
He seems really nice.
Mm-hmm. So then it pops up.
He seems connected.
He seems connected.
He seems like a loving, attentive husband.
Don't they always? Seems. Things are not what they seem.
Yeah.
So Lisa's mouth is just agape. She cannot believe that they had sex. I'm yelling at my television. I can't wait for this to go off. I call her. I'm like, as soon as you get home, you need to watch this because there's an I told you so.
Then
baby, that backhanded me
with the ex-wife. He has an ex-wife. There's just all kinds of
crazy
stuff.
Jenny, and that had my mouth open.
Yes,
I was like,
that was a situation. So what? Howard is still a prime suspect.
He is. But Howard is too obvious now, and that's what scares me.
But he still could be it.
He still could be it.
Manipulated things to make Mary seem like a suspect, which if I was a police officer, that she's got motive.
She has motive.
Found out my
my gosh,
husband
so
was screwing things. My friend.
My best friend. I've stolen my best friend's stuff. Yes. There's so much.
Yeah. It's so it's very meaty. And I'm going to tell you, if Elizabeth Moss doesn't win something playing Mary, I am disappointed. Because when
I tell you I believed it,
she is
I bought that. It was Denzel Washington training day all over again. Yes.
And kind of pathetic.
She plays the part of a psychologically abused
and
wife.
Emotionally, verbally abused woman.
Yes.
And
I kind of want to say, and we've talked about this in episodes prior, if this is almost a little trigger warning, if you have been through, you've dealt with a narcissist, you have been through like psychological abuse and
a really messy divorce,
something,
just,
it could be a little triggering. I want to. It's good. It is really good, and I think she's going to come out on top.
I mean, I think we've all dated people that they might not have all of because Howard's a lot. But I mean, there might be touches of it.
But I think it's different if you've
gaslighting and the.
But if you've been married and you've been trapped in it, I want to put that out there.
She has young children. She it really speaks to women. There's so many.
So many
that have given up yourselves, your lives for your.
And I don't know a
your
woman
family,
yet who
your kids,
sacrificed.
Where you just get absorbed into that, into the husband's life, into his career, into your children. Ooh. Their activities, their lives. And while she loves them dearly, you see what
she's
the
lost.
Cost.
Yeah.
You see the cost. It has cost her herself.
Yes.
Really.
Yes.
And that is a sad thing.
She has paid so dearly.
And instead of some partner who is thankful, and I so appreciate that you did this for us, and now it's your turn, which lots of families do that. I mean, my mom always says you can have it all. You can't have it all at once.
Yeah.
So sometimes you take a step back so things can happen, and then you get to a turn, and lots of families do that. But this person, he acted like he was going to do that.
Ooh,
and then he kind of
he okey-doked her. Yeah.
Yeah. You're not worth that. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to. And she has really lost herself, and that your heart just goes out to her.
And she's been lost a long time. That is what is.
And browbeat by him.
Yes.
And she has elevated him because he was her a professor. Mm-hmm. So she has this notion that he's smarter than me.
Yes.
He's more accomplished than me. He's this, he's that.
Yes.
And Mary is so intelligent, a beautiful writer.
She really is. I would argue that she's smarter than Howard. I think her doubt, and Mary's story is a reminder that self-doubt kills more dreams than no ever has. Because all of her stuff, it is by way of self-doubt. It's internal. It's by way of self-doubt that she kind of stops herself. Because really, Mary is solving this, honestly. Mary is the driving force, even behind Eleanor, of solving this.
Yes, because from the beginning, she was like, "Who killed our friend?
We have to figure this out. We have to."
And even though
Eleanor was kind of distracted by Robert,
she knows her husband had an affair with her, and she's still
on it.
She's still down for her, as a friend, because I think she just knows how raggedy Howard is. So it's like, I'm not even going to blame you.
Yeah.
But anyway,
you're my friend, but this. Motherfucker
he's the one that lied and cheated and whatever. But it really is
so
and because I guess more women have experienced what Mary has experienced. You kind of relate to her more.
Yes.
Nancy, her background was abuse, sexual abuse, and
yes, grooming, sexual abuse.
Her mom's
kind
partner.
of Stockholm syndrome, slightly.
And her mom was an alcoholic and was unreliable.
Baby. Now
unengaged.
Her mama had our mouths open.
Yeah, her mom was an alley cat. So
the queen of alley.
She really was. So Nancy bonded with the mom's boyfriend, and this is what's so sad, because the mom was so disconnected and just not there because she was so deep in the bottle that Nancy went to the partner for money. I need dance lessons.
He's the one who picked her up from dance and from school and
supported her in that way. Even I would say emotionally, the mom was so out of it.
She was out of it.
Like she offered nothing. So this man, sad to say,
was more stable than the mama.
Was a better parent, even though he was abusive. I know, but he was nice.
It's twisted.
He supported her financially. She had things. Kids are expensive. They need stuff. Mm-hmm. So here's this, here's that. I'll pay for that. The mom was just out of it.
His involvement is highly complex because as adult, if most of our listeners are adults, so as adult women watching this, you're like, this man is a predator. And while that is true, if you look, there's an age gap. The mom was kind of predatory with him. He was much younger than the mom. It looks
like he is.
It appears. And he seems to be much closer in age. Some of it
is the mom because,
she's an alcoholic. That's true.
They age.
That's true.
And I do think he's a little younger, but he's an actor that does have a youthful look.
Yes, that's true.
Because I've seen him in other things, and he kind of.
Yeah, and I'm not excusing it. I am just saying that there's some complexity.
She's probably a little bit older than him.
Yeah,
and then he's
probably closer in age.
He's in between the two women. So the mom is jealous of Nancy.
Yes,
even though, pick your own kid up, pay for your own kid's lessons, and you wouldn't worry about it because
But she is deep in the bottle.
She created a gap that he filled.
Yes.
So why are you mad?
And you invited this man into your home.
That's it. If the gap wasn't there, he wouldn't have anything to fill. Because it's not like Nancy was
the aggressor
on him. It was just
not,
like she's got to be picked up from school.
Yeah.
She's got dance lessons, whatever.
Which
if the mom was doing
originally he was the good guy for doing that. But then
then you see what happened. That's a situation. So he's a suspect. Because Nancy kind of had reached out to him, or kind of stalked him on Instagram.
She kind of would check in on him.
And so we're not sure. We don't know.
We don't know.
Robert's family is shady as shit.
Ooh, they are.
They are just. Let me call the police chief. Let me. They rig stuff.
If you're. This is full of spoilers, guys. Like you already know this. So by the time you all are hearing this,
you'll know.
We know who's done it.
But we don't know.
So Robert's family. There's a situation. Robert finally forces the dad. You're going to call the police. You are going to give this information. So we're thinking that on the news.
Because they think Howard did it.
Right. We're thinking we're going to see Howard.
Let's see.
JK, baby. It's the stepdad. And we're like, and there's footage of him, which I have a theory, which I'll share. Because remember, I told you my footage of why Scott was on camera.
Oh, yes, because she thinks he's running away from the scene of the crime.
I think
because he witnesses the crime.
I think he witnesses the crime.
So
because Nancy and Scott,
our money's still on Howard.
It's still on Howard.
Because we hate Howard.
It's still on Howard.
Really?
Yeah, oh yeah. And I want Howard to pay for his previous crimes.
Right. We just need you to go down for messing with Mary.
So if you're curious, at the time that we're recording this, there will be 8 episodes total. The 8th episode is the finale. I don't remember how long this show is, guys. I think it's about 40 minutes. Something like that. 40, 45.
Hour.
Let's say an hour.
Like, I think most of them are 50-something minutes.
Right now, and this is why we don't always agree with them, this show has 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. Which is such, I know.
No,
we never really agree with them.
Good.
And then it is 5.9 out of 10 on IMDb, which I disagree.
Oh.
And usually IMDb, I kind of agree with. I disagree with both of these guys, but I just wanted to look it up.
I give it 2 thumbs up. And I think
it's a good psychological thriller.
Now, okay, I think men probably wouldn't get into it.
Oh no, they wouldn't.
They wouldn't, and that's probably the percentages. I think there's not a woman alive that can identify
at least
with
one of the three.
characters.
That's correct.
So that's where I think the discrepancy comes in.
That's true.
I don't see a man saying, "Oh, this is so good."
I don't either.
I don't see. They just wouldn't. They wouldn't understand it. That's okay. And all the men, are there any good men in it? There's kind of not. They are all, aren't they?
There's not.
There's not one. The kid. Mary's kid might be the best,
and that motherfucker got some problems. But you know what?
But he's the best.
Now that you say
there's none,
and y'all, he's kind of skeevy.
Yeah. So there's not one.
But okay, it's not male. It's really not male bashing. It's the reality. It's women's reality.
But it's their friendship. So of course they have a tight circle.
Yes.
So
the people have similarities.
Just the men in the story are in some way relational or something with these women.
Okay,
we don't see a broad
spectrum. Yeah, there's not a big variety.
And when I tell you they got some crazies in their lives. Carrie's brother, now he probably we hoping. I'm praying he's now.
Okay, guys, Lisa's very first. I know who it is, and this is like episode 2. She thought it was Carrie's brother, Eleanor's brother, played by Kerry Washington.
Yes, I thought, who is Leslie Odom?
Yes,
that's who played.
I'm gonna say this: Robert isn't a bad guy. His hands were just tied. So now we actually know Robert wasn't a bad guy.
No, I'm not gonna say he was tied. He has been groomed to be obedient.
Yes.
I mean, you always have a choice. He had a choice. He did,
but to the point of his own emotional detriment.
He chose his family, his money, his comfy life.
He did.
Now, he could have struck out on his own. He's a smart guy, has been educated.
He had the money and the name and the status.
And you could have went on your own and
that's true.
So I'm not going to say his hands were tied. They were not. But he's been abused too.
Absolutely.
He has.
He's currently being abused.
Father, financial abuse.
Yes. Psychological abuse. Yes.
In the, we want you to do what we want you to do. His sister's very cruel.
She's batshit crazy.
So there's a lot of abuse.
And her and Nancy got beef. They got open beef. The sister and her.
Yes,
they do.
I think she just doesn't like Nancy.
I'm gonna tell y'all.
I think she doesn't like Nancy. She doesn't like Nancy's pedigree. She has none.
She doesn't like.
She has none. Now Robert is not. He seems to know Nancy's story.
He does. He knows, and he loves her anyway.
There wasn't a problem. From his point.
But his sister for sure.
The sister, the dad has been kind of So there's a lot of abuse.
There is
going on in this with alcohol and drugs.
Ooh, baby.
Between characters
and gambling. Don't forget that.
Yes.
And gambling.
And with just women.
Yes.
Abusing themselves, beating themselves up about their worth and what you want.
Yes.
Carrie has been in love with Robert and just kind of put him on this pedestal of perfection.
Yes.
And
only to find out.
He wants my friend. He's wild. He's not a great guy.
No,
he's not.
Certainly not worth putting your life on hold.
And he didn't love Carrie. No. I mean, that's just the bottom line. He loved this Nancy.
Which her brother always knew. And it was easier for her to paint her brother as this like bad villain, guy. But he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was, he was far enough away from the fire to see the flames and to be like, don't do that. Don't get in that.
She pines for this man for 20 plus years, really puts her whole life on hold.
Yeah.
Has kind of very
casual. She has casual relationships. And really has just bypassed on being loved.
Yes.
Because there are people who've been deeply in love with her, but she's just
probably passed on some great guys to pine for somebody who is not available. So she's got issues. Her father's deceased. They haven't said anything bad about him, but I'm thinking that there's going to be some.
I am too.
Dad was not who we thought he was. I don't know.
Yeah. But it was hidden from her because she's the younger sister. Think about it. She's the younger girl.
Well, I think, but that's how she loves. She loves with this idealization.
That's true. These rose-colored glasses.
Like these men are so perfect, and I think she saw her dad like that because she drives his old car.
Oh, she does.
She's got his fishing rod on the wall,
even though that's not her thing. But she has this so framed and mounted.
Has this, hero complex.
She kind of has this idolatry thing.
Yes.
Like she just,
so she puts these men and they're perfect, which Mary has it too. Because that's what she's done to Howard. Oh, well, he's so smart. He's so this. He's
I think there's a difference.
And
I think
Mary has a crazy background too.
She does.
Because she was kind of in was it a cult?
And a very abusive childhood on a pot farm. Severe neglect. She's the oldest girl.
Were hippies and it seemed like they were drug abusers. Maybe she just cared for her younger siblings. So she has always been mama, kind of,
and has always been able to disassociate. Because that was how she survived as a child, and it's how she survived in her marriage. I'm going to say where I feel that Eleanor and Mary differ, which are the two friends that are still alive, is that it proves to you, it's kind of the argument of like, oh, a 2-parent home is better. And now we're seeing through all this research that people can be in 2-parent homes and be just as damaged, if not more damaged, than single-parent households. Yeah. Well, it is that one was through this idolatry and one was through disassociation, through trauma. But they're kind of both at the same. They're both spiraling. Yeah. They just got there different ways.
We don't know a lot of Eleanor Kerry Washington's character. Her background. She's
but she's the friend that had wealthy. Money. Yes.
She kind of moves in the same circles as Nancy and Robert, but she went on to, instead of getting on that capitalist ladder.
Oh yeah, she's very philanthropic about hers.
Yes, she's got a nonprofit and she's helping this one and that one. So that's what she does.
Yes.
So it manifested very differently, but they are it's really funny. They are so different, but they do have a lot of commonalities.
Overlap. Yes, they do.
And all three of them. There's a lot of abuse, and what struck me. They had so many secrets. When if they had shared, they would have seen how alike they were. For real. If they had just shared,
I'm laughing, guys.
But it's true.
I won't share. I'm not sharing what it is. But there are times when I'm like, just in case something happens, here's FYI. Because I just believe that so much happens because of shame and secrecy. And these women are proof of that.
Like, yes, they had so much.
You need someone who you can tell all your stuff to,
and they'll check you,
and that'll
not just go like, oh, okay, you're good.
Like, no, you sure you want to?
Because the thing with them, they were secrets that many of them, while it was different, it wasn't.
Oh, it really wasn't.
So they would have seen girl.
This is the Venn diagram. They have more in the middle together than they ever realized.
They really
than
do.
They ever realized.
And that's what's heartbreaking.
You know the irony? That's probably why they've remained friends so long, but it never occurred to them. They probably were all more
the
alike.
Policeman said, I don't know what y'all got, but it ain't friendship.
But it ain't friendship.
Because they are
that detective
there's
was
so much crazy. There's
a lot of hooking and crooking.
Swirling around. And they're tight. They have
they are for real tight. Yes.
They have it seemed like it's more than monthly. It's probably weekly.
Yeah, it did seem like
dinner, get together. They go to each other's house. They take food. They are.
But each one of them, it's shame. So I feel like if you don't take anything from this episode, like if you never watch it, be mindful of shame. Because Nancy had shame that caused her to enter the crap with Howard. Because she was scared that she wasn't enough with Robert. When if she had just listened to what Eleanor was telling her, she would have been good.
Oh, because Robert, his family entered a bad business deal at his
advice.
Which, I mean,
who doesn't?
I'm sure they've had others, but of course they blame him.
Yes.
And so their money was funny.
Yes.
And he was trying to
protect her, but it looked like something else.
So he was withdrawing. So she thought, oh my God, my marriage is over. He's probably going to divorce me.
Yes.
And she had seen something that he had written.
It was an asset divide.
Yes. And so she panics and thinks he wants a divorce when it wasn't that at all. He was just trying to separate her money so it wasn't involved in his stuff.
Yes.
So that was her problem. So Howard,
he's a predator.
He is.
First off.
He is very intelligent. He's a professor.
Yeah.
But it's some just weird subject that nobody is real interested in. So he has a complex, and people kind of put him down and kind of, because it's not. it's not anything relevant,
It's
really.
like
And he's not made it relevant.
It's like the modernization of Greek poetry or Greek philanthropy.
Bullshit. And you know how professors now, they do cool things like the lyrics to this, how this relates to, but he has not done that.
He does not.
He has not done. He should have said
he feels like that's beneath him.
Relates to something. It probably would have been a
Please
hit.
compare this to Eminem, and now I care.
Right, but it's just a weird thing. So people, especially men, kind of look down on him because you don't make a lot of money and you're doing this weird shit, and he talks in this highbrow, like what's the subject, kind of way.
It really plays into him being a predator. You'll see that,
and being a narcissist. I'm smarter than you, and I know what this is, and nobody knows. That's why the book didn't sell. That's why you're looking for a job.
That and the predator.
Yes. So
the sexual prowess is a problem for him.
Having sex with students.
Yeah.
Because even when Mary was a student, he was married. Yeah. And then since they have been married, there have been students.
And the sad part was kind of Mary was not even his student. Mary was his wife's student. She was obsessed with the wife's literary work. Well, his ex-wife. She was obsessed with the wife's literary work. He saw that obsession and started grooming her based on that. And so, I mean, he's an absolute predator.
They're all
we want zero good ending for Howard.
Good. Yeah. And Eleanor's brother, it seems to be the best one, but he's a womanizer.
He's a womanizer.
But I mean, but he's not married.
He's a divorced womanizer.
So we can't really say anything about
your world.
And
what he was
saying with Robert was, I mean, he was trying to protect his sister, which I kind of think he was right.
He was spot on with what he said.
Because he didn't love her. She would have just been used. And
this man told her, we all know you love to fix a broken toy. Baby, when I tell
she was
read her for Phil, she was upset.
Yeah.
She was upset.
So, I mean, he's like this. We're not sure. He might be the good guy, but we're not sure.
Him and Mary's son, the best out the whole damn bunch.
The rest of them are just insane. So watch it. We give it 2 thumbs up.
It is,
and
good.
I really do think.
And I'm gonna say it's
all
for
our
women.
guy listeners. Yeah. If you just want to, But
I'll say this: if you're a guy listener and you have any women that you love, watch this and know that some of them go through this every day, and you'll never know it.
Well, that's true.
Watch it. Watch it, and you would be. It may help you detect something you otherwise would have just written
and give you some empathy for people who've gone through things. Like, wow, this is how.
It's good. It's a good psychological thriller.
A good guy probably wouldn't know this.
Wouldn't
know. Like, oh, is that what they say
like,
do or whatever?
That's what you go through. Yeah. No, but my prediction is that it is Howard.
I still think it's Howard too.
I believe that
we want it to be Howard.
I want it to be
Howard. Howard to be
that raggedy son of a bitch.
I do the gallows.
Oh, I do. I want everybody to like throw tomatoes and rotten fruit at him before it happens.
Such a bad guy.
Oh my gosh! But I think that Scott. I think the
there's some
stepdad
connection with that. We don't know yet.
I think he was following her. I think because she had reached out to him. There's definitely some abused stuff there. Yeah. We'll find out. But if you like Frida McFadden books, if that's your jam, if you watched, maybe you didn't read it, but you watched The Housemaid. I read the entire series.
Or if you just mysteries.
Yeah, mysteries or psychological thrillers.
Yeah. Or
if you like any of those.
Human behavior.
Yes.
Women. Yes. Psychological.
That's what they called it. They called it a human behavior thriller.
It's kind of a psychological thriller.
It is a psychological thriller.
Yeah. So if you're into that,
it's so good. Yeah. And it's only 8 episodes and ain't nothing else on TV
think
right
Apple
now.
Puts out such great things. I do.
This is unrelated, but thank you, Apple. I want to say thank you.
Today,
the Ted Lasso trailer dropped and
coming.
Hallelujah.
And Ted is coming back. Remember, he was up in the air because they thought it might be.
We love
Ted,
you, Jason Sudeikis.
We love
Ted
you. Lasso without Ted?
What the hell is it without Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso minus Ted.
I was running to the bathroom. I'm like, Lisa, they dropped that Ted Lasso trailer. Like
August
5th. August 5th.
Summer.
Oh my gosh, that's my grandfather's birthday.
Oh, cool.
Well, I love you, but I won't see you that day. I will be watching Ted Lasso. The Church of Ted Lasso has resumed. Okay, loves. thank you for pulling up a chair and letting us give you all those spoilers. Please subscribe to Are You Free for Coffee podcast, wherever you're listening. And we hope that you find joy in the little
watch
things.
Imperfect Women.
Watch Imperfect
on
Women
Apple.
on Apple. Till next time.